What's up, guys? Connor Ferguson and Josh Olmstead here for Always Race Day at the second race of the Hy-Vee Iowa Speedway IndyCar doubleheader race weekend. Two concerts coming up later. I'm really hyped for that. We got to talk about this race. We got to preview this race. Josh, I brought you on here. You're somewhat new to being on camera and doing stuff with us. What are your thoughts going into today's race?
I mean, it's going to be significantly hotter than what it was yesterday. I mean, we're talking on-track temps of probably well over 10 degrees from last night. It's a lot of drivers don't really seem to be worried about tire degradation with not being able to pass in the one groove. So we're really hoping that we see the second groove, but from the drivers we talked about, doesn't look like it. But try to be optimistic, but being realist.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. Last night was a snoozer. I have called this race for years now of my career the best, most consistent on-track product on the planet. It no longer is that with this repave. A lot of guys last night, this repave, you can kind of see it here. It's up halfway up the racetrack. It doesn't cover the whole thing. It's created this 1.5 sort of 1 3/4 groove that it's really difficult to pass in an IndyCar here. Joseph Newgarden said you're flirting with disaster every time you go up to the high line. Now, I have reasons to be optimistic today, if you want to hear them. And that's none of the cautions from yesterday. None of the 4 wrecks we saw, I believe. None of them were caused by a car going up to the high line. They happened in the tri-oval. They happened on the low line, going down to the apron early in the race. So I guess that is good news. We saw Santino Ferrucci go up there and make a couple of badass passes in the same lap. We saw Joseph Newgarden go up there and make some good runs by people. The issue is when they get full speed, it just doesn't seem like you have the power to get up to a guy and be in position to pass.
For sure, yeah. Even looking down here, you can kind of see that there is a seam right in the middle, and that's kind of where that line of where you really don't want to cross or where drivers are skeptical about doing. So, like we said, it seems we're trying to be optimistic because guys were just kind of scared to do it. But, I mean, we talked to Carpenter, and he was saying how the bottom lane is about a second faster than that second groove. So I can see why drivers don't want to go up in that groove. But, I mean, there's no discoloration, no rubber getting put down. So there's not, like, any preference by looking at it, but it's just the speeds and the way the track grips. I do think that there is that chance that, like Connor talked about with the second groove, because Santino made some crazy passes, but I mean, this track is still very treacherous. We saw Pelot lose it in the tri-oval, like just super late in the turn, and Pelot's not known for making very much mistakes. So it's very interesting to see with the weather today, because a lot of drivers don't think it's going to be a factor, but track temps are insane. Like, I'm sweating just standing here right now. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to ask you, 74 starts for Alex Pelot, 7 DNFs. And I thought that was high. It doesn't feel like 7. Really uncharacteristic, and that was, I called it a tri-oval crash. So
yeah,
really, it's a weird surface here. There's some reasons for optimism. There's not another race coming up after this. There's not the risk of having a short turnaround to fix a wrecked race car. Maybe we see more guys try moves like Santino did last night. At the very least, Santino, Joseph, Graham, all in the race. We'll see what happens. It starts at 11 o'clock. This time it's on NBC today, I hope. We'll see. NBC for the race. We'll be here all day. Kelsey Ballerini and Post Malone after this. It's going to be a fun day at Iowa Speedway, as it always is, to wrap up the season here. Thanks for following along today, guys, and we'll see you on the other side.